Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. I am Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady, and we are having technical difficulties, it seems. Oh my word. Yeah, this is a whole bunch of fun here. This is a new setup for putting out the coffee with lavender, and it's giving me a little bit of a problem. I don't know why. So we'll find out what the hell is going on, but we will roll with it anyway. As
Yeah, I
inquisitive.
see on the YouTube page that your banner is up and a very small image of you is hidden behind the logo,
Yeah, what I may
just
do
down in the corner there.
What I may do here is here. Well, no, that's not working too well, is it? No, it's not working well at all. So we're gonna put that back over there. Oh well. Okay. Yeah. Today with me, I have the biggest of the big sweeties. Today we have the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful. Purple rhymes with orange. How the hell are you?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm still
Whoa.
kind of waking up here, but
I hit the wrong button there, let me tell you. You're going to see a piece. Mike Pence, yes, absolutely. Oh, man. Yeah, things were interesting this morning. I did not know if you were going to be asleep.
oh, there we go. Your starting image was up there for a second.
I hit the wrong button. That's what happened. And unfortunately, yeah, you saw a coffee cup. I'm going to have to do a little better job of spacing the buttons on this OBS over here. I'm not at all sure what's going on. I don't know that you folks want me to take this whole thing. Kitty, why are you all warm? Were you sitting in the? Were you sitting in the window? Hmm? You might have been sitting in the window. She likes sitting in the window. Um, but yeah, this hadn't been a problem with me previous. I have used this arrangement. This is the video call from the Google Hangouts that still exists. It's not something that can go to YouTube directly, you know, the way the old one did, the one they took away. But it's one I have used with OBS. And for whatever reason, it's just staying dark. If you guys,
Well, my screen is dark because I don't have a camera. Now, are you sure you don't have it like set for just me presenting?
well, we're gonna find out really, really, really quickly. Honey, what are you doing here? Are you clawing at me? Why are you doing that? Um,
Because maybe you somehow got it locked on me presenting or sharing my screen.
okay, now here's something I've done. Okay, now I've locked it on me. Okay, it's somehow locked on you. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. I see you now.
Yeah, okay. It's somehow having something to do with you having no camera.
Yep.
But locking it on me seems to do enough of a good job here. We are going to roll with that, and we're going to adjust my shirt that's all gathered up around my tits there. And what are you doing,
Yeah.
Sylvia? Okay, problem solved. How do you like that? All right then. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I'm having more of a problem with this, so I've got to get one of those virtual camera programs to work. I was
Okay.
playing around with some different ones, but
So what you been up to lately, hon? Not with the what's the word for it? Fundraiser in mind as well.
yeah, well, that's mostly the fundraiser took up a good chunk of time there, and
You had mentioned at me. Oh, hi, Badger. Yay! Yeah, we have the show as regular here. So, Badger and Dave, we're gonna want to talk and maybe have that discussion on another coffee with Lavender or as a special. That's okay. No problem. But yeah, the fundraiser took it out of a lot of us. It really did. For here, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was old and I couldn't do it anymore because, well, shit, we went for 48 hours. Um, some of us took time to sleep every now and then. Oh my word. I'm seeing new subscriber, Doorknob Head. You weren't subscribed before, you horrible person. I don't know. I just don't know about you. I am going to have to sick Sylvia after you. That's what I'm going to have to do. Yeah, most certainly. Um,
Yeah, Badge, right. I've downloaded the split cam, but I haven't had time to play with it, so I'm not quite sure how it works yet.
yeah.
But Badger also made a cool animated graphic for me,
Ooh, yay.
so
Are
I
you,
got to learn to use the program so I can put that up.
are you allowed to describe that, or is that going to be a surprise?
Um, well, you've seen the Transformer Triceratops I've got. He took that image and he just put it flying around on a jet powered surfboard.
Hey, I like every minute of it. Yay. Oh, no, no,
So yeah,
no. Not in my side chat. No. We have Orla saying someone needs a spanking, and Dave's hand immediately goes, whoop, me.
well, doesn't Kate come in to do the paddlings later?
Yeah, we just might have to do that. She was here a little bit ago mentioning that she was making breakfast, and I was, yeah, never mind. So hopefully we will be seeing the great and wonderful Kate at some point today. Geez. But then again, yeah, what you got coming up? I mean, I'm assuming you're up to something.
Well, as far as online stuff, I've always got several things I'm working on, but I get 5, 6 projects started at a time. I don't get anything finished, so
God, that sounds
I don't know
familiar.
what's going to get done first.
It sounds so too freaking familiar.
Okay, Sloth Girl decided to join us, but says she's not getting out of bed.
Oh, she's the lucky one. Definitely. Oh Lord, it's. I don't know. This is the whole thing here. I have to wonder, what is the use of being an atheist if I can't stay in bed on Sunday morning? But here I am. Here you are. It's like, what's going on here?
Well, most Sundays I wind up gaming, but my brother's out of town this weekend, so.
Yeah, and this is why I glommed onto that one as soon as I could, because I'd love to. I've always wanted to have you on here, and you were always predisposed. You know,
Yeah,
at
it's
your
really
brother's
the only
place.
kind of social activity I get around here.
Yeah, and that takes precedence, definitely.
Yeah, well, most of the socializing around here is pretty much people going to bars, and I don't do well with loud noises and crowds, so
Mm-hmm.
bars in general are just kind of how long can I tolerate it? I go on occasion because Sloth Girl is kind of a celebrity on the local karaoke circuit, but that's the
Oh
only reason
my, oh
for me
my.
to go at all.
Was there ever a time that you liked bars, or was it something that?
No,
No. Okay, so it
no,
was always.
yeah,
Because I remember I used to do the bars when I was younger. When I was 17, 18, that sort of thing. And in Ohio, where the drinking age was 21, that was a feat. But then after a while, I decided that no, it's just not fun. As you say, too crowded, too noisy. And the only reason you're there is to get bombed.
yeah. Well, also living here, I'm drinking an extreme amount more than I used to.
Oh man, yeah. You want to talk about that one for a little bit because you had mentioned that that's what am I looking for? An occupational hazard of living
Yeah.
there.
Well, unfortunately, alcoholism is very common in my family on both sides.
Oh
But
my oh my.
just living in this town, a lot of it's just out of boredom, I think. That, I used to go through about 2 bottles a year, and
Yeah, that
now
sounds familiar.
sometimes I'm going through, not even getting a bottle to last me a month anymore.
Yeah, when you start buying it by the case, you have to wonder, what's up. Hey, I like Kate's idea. Replace booze with weed.
Oh, Kate's here already.
Yay!
Yeah, well, in Michigan, it's now legal to smoke the weed. It's just illegal to buy, sell, or trade it.
That is
And the law states that we're allowed to grow our own up to 12 plants per person, but it's still illegal to buy the seeds.
that's amazing. I love the way that is done. Did they? And I'm asking the question rhetorically, of course. Did they not have the smarts to know that those other prohibitions were in place? So okay, you can grow, but you can't buy the fucking seeds, that sort of thing. Or did they do that intentionally? And I have to wonder that on some of these things, the lawmakers do this intentionally. They said, okay, we will let you smoke it, but we won't let you get it in order to smoke it. Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much them saying that, hey, yeah, we got this law passed for you. We did what you were asking for. And then hoping nobody reads the fine print.
There you go. Go to California, buy what you need, come back, Kate says. Um, there's something in the legislation that prohibits that, isn't there, explicitly?
Yeah, it's a federal felony to transport it across state lines.
Yeah. Okay, right. Because it
Doorknob
is.
had said replace booze with dancing bionically.
There's a possibility for you. Definitely. I like the sound of that. Um, wait a minute. Doorknob
Although
had
actually,
also.
it's not that big a deal to me because it's like weed never seemed to have very much effect on me. I've
Okay.
actually only gotten high twice in my life, despite the fact that I've had friends who have tried constantly to do it.
Oh man. I remember the first time I tried grass. It didn't do a thing. And I wonder, what's up? And they always told me, well, it never does anything the first time. Don't worry about it. And it did happen that the second time I smoked, I did get high. Um, but you're saying it just doesn't. That's. I'd love to have a look in your brain, if you don't mind my saying, to see what's up with the receptors that bind to whatever they bind to the THC, to whatever other things, and see about that receptor population and see if that doesn't correlate with other things.
Yeah, well, that's I know my brain chemistry is not normal in several ways, but
Yeah.
I haven't really found any pattern for it as far as like other people who have similar conditions. Now, it scrolled off the top of the screen there, but Critical said something about having a whole birdseed exemption.
Oh yes, Dave S. Do you not have the whole bird seed exemption we have? And then in parentheses, had. It's been a while. And of course, Critical's talking about England. I don't know the exemption offhand, Dave.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that reference.
side chat. Kate says, Orla Serov, I danced like no one was watching, but they were watching, and they thought I was being attacked by bees. Yep. Oh, geez.
Well, I don't have a camera, so for all you know, I am dancing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're doing it rather slowly, because I don't hear all the huffing and puffing going on. Got a little bit of a two-step or a foxtrot going there. Who knows?
I don't dance. My fiance said that I was proof that white people have no rhythm.
Oh, boy, I love that when you can do the when you can do the cross ethnicity humor going on there, you know.
Yeah, living with her was quite an education in a lot of ways.
Yeah, now, I don't know if you feel like saying very much about that. I know it still kind of hurts to think about it. Because I've never been in a cross race, if you will call it, relationship. Came close at one point, and unfortunately, it didn't fly. Real sweetie as far as that goes, but it was not to be. So I have no direct experience in any of that. I mean,
I was definitely the minority in the neighborhood, and had some interesting experiences with it. Our car got vandalized twice until they saw her driving it, and then they left it alone.
Oh, jeez. I mean, what was there that surprised you, if there was anything that could be called that?
The doorknob head, fortunately, I've never had to go to Alabama, and we'll definitely avoid that. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Diana?
Yeah, well, I mean, what surprises were there in store for you? I know the whole car thing must have been rather interesting, but...
Well, actually, there wasn't that much, because it's like, ours was always one of the poorest families in the neighborhood anyway, so above anything, it really proved to me that people are fighting the wrong battle there, that it's not about race, it's about economic class.
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you 100%.
I mean, if you're broke, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, you could be purple or orange for all that. Never mind you. But I have had the privilege. I'm going to call it a privilege to live in majority black neighborhoods for the last 30 or so years, and me being a lily white suburb raised, I was a boy at the time, or trying to be a boy anyway. What I was told by the white people around me when I was living in that neighborhood, I come out here and I find out that none of it holds. Is it that they don't get it, or is it that what they're putting out is propaganda? And that's a rhetorical question. Again, there's a lot of that going on.
Well, I mean, I won't deny that there is a certain amount of privilege just in looking right, that, appearing to be a typical white male, that, I don't get scrutinized as much.
Yeah, the whole thing that have been coming up lately of the whole driving while black, standing while black. That.
Well, and Kat had a lot of experience with it because she did not have an ethnic name, and she didn't have like any kind of noticeable accent or that. So it's like people didn't question it on the phone.
Okay,
But
then.
she had a number of cases of job interviews that on the phone it went great, and as soon as they arrived and they saw that she was black, yeah, pretty much the resume went straight into the trash, and the interview was just kind of killing some time so they couldn't get sued.
You'd think that they'd learn by now that we're people up and down the road, but okay, I mean, this was in Syracuse too, right?
Yeah, Central New York.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing that I would almost expect out of Macon or out of Mobile, but in upstate New York?
Well,
Wow.
the one time we took a trip back to Minnesota, she was truly surprised that walking around as a black couple, nobody really took much notice of us.
Okay, then. Yeah.
That was an experience she really didn't expect. Because even in Syracuse, if we went out together to the art museum or whatever, yeah, people would tend to kind of be looking over their shoulder at us a lot.
Wow. And here in the little township just outside of Pittsburgh, I see quite a bit of that. I certainly see more. I don't know what the term is. I'm going to say biracial couples here and now than I ever did when I was growing up in Cleveland. I wonder what you would have thought of that sort of thing.
Well, it definitely is a thing that society is gradually adjusting to, and I've seen it myself over the decades that it's gotten to be more common.
But it's taken this long to even begin to understand that there's nothing horrible about it,
Yeah, you would think, 50 years after the whole civil rights thing and that we would have progressed a little better, but
Yeah, definitely. And of course, that's a lot of what that's the whole fight then, and the fight still isn't over. That's an interesting way to put it, Kate. Lesbian racial couples. Okay. Oh, geez, Seraphim.
well, she was a lesbian, so does that count?
Maybe. That's another interesting thing of how your relationship worked at all.
Yeah, well,
You've mentioned it.
she kept saying she could have never imagined living with anyone who had a penis. But, she said, I did not display the mannerisms or the attitudes that she generally associated with men. So when it was the two of us together, I'm very gender fluid. And so when it was the two of us together, she treated me as a girl. And, I
And
was
it
cool with
worked.
that.
Fine. Hey, it definitely works. And God, Seraphim says, my mom lost a lot of customers when people thought that I, Seraphim, was dating a black man. This is bullshit. I mean, why should this even be? God damn it.
Yeah, and then she said she lost a lot more when they found out I'm not religious.
Oh, Lord.
Now, see, for my family, my fiance being black was not an issue. By that point, they were just glad that I had brought home something female.
Didn't get over that last hurdle, huh?
Yeah, and speaking of last hurdles, I still haven't broken the news to my brother that my eldest brother is somewhere between a fanatic and a zealot on the Christian scale. So one of these days I've got to get around to telling him I've got some good news and some bad news for you. The good news is I'm not pagan anymore. The bad news is I'm an atheist.
He must be a lot of fun at family reunions, let me tell you.
Yeah, so I'm still not sure how that one's going to go over because for 25 years he managed to deny the fact that I had ever told him I was pagan. He continued to act surprised every time it came up.
Oh man. And you know what's the amazing thing is, for all we know, he could have been surprised every time.
I think he was. I think he probably took the attitude that it was some kind of a phase that I was going to get over soon.
Wow. 25-year phase, not bad. I mean, you did get over it, sort of, but I won't call it get over as much
Well,
as just.
the most ironic part about it was he was the one who bought me the Bible. That made me decide to read the Bible, which is why I gave up on Christianity in the first place.
Yeah, he's your ticket out, and it's like, oh, you. I don't
Well, when I was
know.
14, he gave me a personalized Bible for Christmas. So I decided I was going to read a couple chapters every night before bed. And yeah, um, when I got into Leviticus, I found it extremely disturbing. And I even had a couple of private sessions with the pastor at our church to discuss it. And he didn't really give me any answers. He just said, well, we focus more on the New Testament and not too much on the Old Testament. It was about all he said. And it's like, no, you can't really expect me to take this seriously if nobody's going to give me some real answers about things like, one of the things I recall being the most disturbing was all the laws about who's allowed into the temple. And it's like,
Oh,
nobody who's sick or crippled. And it's
yeah.
like, you know, from the viewpoint of being Christian, I was like, aren't these the people who need God the most and they're forbidden to see him?
Right,
And
right,
that
right.
that was really the piece that I could never reconcile, and that's why I had to give up on the whole thing.
You would almost think that there was some sort of human prejudice involved there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh man, and geez, Seraphim Hyde was given a Bible at birth. What's the big, what's the deal with that? I mean, the thing on your mind most at birth is, I want food, I want warmth, I want this really bad feeling on my arse to go away. Doesn't know how to call it a diaper yet, and then I don't know. Now I tried, of all things, when I went to uni the first time around. I thought that, okay, I was going to try reading the Bible cover to cover, and yeah, by the time I got into the big three, uh, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, I just couldn't do it. In my case, it was extremely boring. Um,
Well, yeah, there was that too, but
Going into extreme detail about how to prepare a sin offering, and so, geez, man. Um,
well, that part of it at least made sense. It was at least instructions for something they thought was important. But there's like chapters in it that are really nothing but just lists of names. There's no story.
yeah, and you have to wonder what that was for, or was that your manner of record keeping somehow? Because, I mean, mostly myths, as far as I understand, somebody who's an expert in mythology, please correct me if I'm wrong, are there to tell a story, to impress you with an idea, and you want to make it interesting if you're going to do that. So you have the stuff like, Zeus being a serial philanderer. It gets the audience there, but just name after name after name after name, and then it doesn't fit with anything else that's written later on or before.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
think the list of names were mostly lineages, so it was mostly how they justified who was king at the time.
okay, okay.
That if they could have the current king trace his family lineage back to one of these people mentioned in the Bible, then, that proved that his rule was ordained by God. So even if somebody might argue with the king, who's going to argue with God?
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay, definitely. And then you have the whole tracing the Messiah back to David, and then
Yeah.
you have the stuff that's going on now where the hard right Republican Christians want to somehow link their rule to divine ordinance, that sort of thing. And it's
Hey, Lena.
oh, hi, Lena, yay! I like it, Kate. Twice today already, just in the space of a minute or two, you've come up with some really good things. She said earlier, here we are. Shame was invented by people who aren't having as good a time as you. Definitely like it. And the most recent, the opposite of weird is not normal. The opposite of weird is boring. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I prefer weird to anything else.
Yeah.
There are reasons, and then there are reasons, and yeah, this is but one of them, Kate. Divine ordnance, holy missiles, and guns. First shalt thou pull the holy pin. Oh my. So what else have we got going on?
Oh. Sorry, just stretching.
Okay. Yeah, that's what happens when you've been in bed for quite a while and the muscles decide that they're going to argue with you. Oh, because so many times anymore you can't walk straight when you get out of the bed. No, not that way. I wish it were that way, but no.
Yeah.
That,
I kind of have to get all my joints back into place.
yeah, we were just talking about that. You may have to go to California, but wait, it doesn't work on you. So, yeah, as you get older, these things happen, and it's not always fun. It's this sort of thing. Well, this sort of thing. I've got to be well known throughout this township for my two questions, or my question: when did I get old, and why the hell did I do it? Right. I already chastise people for using that word around me. Just go straight on down the street, and it's like, hey, remember who you're talking to here.
Now you advance gaily forward.
Oh man. A dog would flinch, Sylvia gives her. Behold the field in which Sylvia grows her fucks, and see that it is barren. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I decided a long time ago that I was not going to grow up, but there's that other stuff that catches up with you after a while, and it's just very, very annoying. But then again, how about you, Purple? You gonna grow up, or you gonna grow old?
Well, can't help growing old, but I don't see any point in growing up. It's a trap.
If fewer of us would grow up,
Although, while I have my own fair list of complaints, at least I don't have anything that's likely to become fatal, so.
Okay. Well, then again, throw a complaint in here. You never know what's going to surprise you. Damn it. Oh, Sloth Girl asks, how's the lavender oil working? Beautifully. Just have to make sure you get enough there. And she says, no, I'm having nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I noticed she hasn't been climbing the curtains in the background very much.
Yeah, it's, we've got this whole little thing going on here, straight from Walmart. $6 for the lavender oil, and I think maybe $1 for the sprayer, and just wet the curtains down, and you're all set. It's a beautiful thing. And here I was thinking that I was going to have to rig claymores around the curtains or something like that. But happily, everything has worked out well, and we're not gonna complain about that. What do we have here? Probabilities. Probabilities is
Seraph is saying, since I'm almost 35, my time is running out. Now, see, I came to the realization a week or two ago that I haven't had a midlife crisis yet. So doesn't that mean I have to live to be at least 110 because I haven't reached midlife yet?
Pretty much. Yeah, I had my midlife crisis at 17. Oh man, that was the thing, Seraphim. I remember back in that time, so long ago. I turned 35, and I remembered, damn, by now Mozart was dead. And it was just
I brought that one up a few times myself.
It was a good reason to get drunk, you know.
Yep.
Oh, Doc. In lieu of growing up, he's growing out. I know. I feel for you, sweetness. I really do. But yeah, growing up is really, really overrated. I don't know how you saw the adults when you were a kid. The way I saw them was old and staid and boring, and I definitely did not want to be like that. I mean, I was thinking of, if this is what growing up is, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
one thing with my dad that I don't really ever remember him being happy. I'm sure there were occasions for it, but for him, it's like absolutely everything was just about work.
yeah.
And that's if you weren't being productive, you were wasting time, and that was a sin. So I don't remember him, being happy or relaxing.
Yeah, I remember that in my first marriage, as a matter of fact.
And from the adult perspective, I can see, he was trying to feed a dozen people on a carpenter's salary. And so, that wasn't easy, and he had to put in a lot of extra hours. But, still at some point. And one of the other things I see in retrospect, that I'm on the autistic spectrum, and my family doesn't like the idea, but I'm pretty sure he was too. Just in his generation, they had no idea what that was.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting.
Because he didn't really have any friends per se. The only people he associated with were either guys he had been in the army with or were members of his union.
Okay, yeah.
So he didn't make friends, he just had people that he had worked with.
Yeah, and sometimes those can be friends, but...
Yeah, but I mean...
And other times there's that work standing in the way.
Yeah. But, there had to be some other relationship established before he ever got to know anyone.
Oh, my. Yeah, but that's the interesting thing, as you mentioned it. At least your father had a reason for it. You know, the 12 mouths to feed.
Yeah.
He only had the four to feed, and three of them were involved in doing it. Because it was a family business. He was always there. She was always there. Past the age of 9, I was always there. But the pressing need wasn't there. That was what you did instead of doing things like taking some time off, um, just to wind down, for fuck's sake. Once or twice, they did close the store for a week. Once, took off to Niagara Falls, Canada. That was the first time I had ever been away on a trip that didn't involve Kelly's Island. New things to see and everything. But and there was another time. It was an interesting thing. Another time they took off and went without plans, and ended up at a Jewish resort in Southwest Michigan, which was a very interesting experience. I liked being able to take that in. I'm sure they wouldn't understand what I liked about it, but of course they made sure that they were the Thor's thumb, sore thumb that stood out. Not knowing, or caring who and when to tip, that sort of thing. But it doesn't exist anymore. It was a place called Fiddleman's. I forget what the town's name. It was near St. Joseph.
Yeah. Sloth Girl says, I don't have any pressing needs. I hate ironing anything.
Yeah, definitely. I have not ironed anything in a very long time. I have not worn anything that needed ironing. And it's unfortunate. I wish I had places to go where dress clothing was, suggested, if not required. But no, didn't work that way.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same thing. I never really had a point for it, and that was kind of a drawback because I never paid much attention to clothes. And never had any experience with makeup, so the couple of times that I have tried to present as female, I, not very successful with it. I need a lot of help.
Oh, yeah, I need all the help I
can. And it's certainly something that I would have done more often if I felt I could do a better job of it.
Definitely. And there's the one thing well, not the one thing, one of the many things I don't like about my growing up is that I never had a chance to learn that stuff. I knew it was going to come in handy sooner or later, and now I'm here, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I don't do anything because I don't want to look like Bozo the Clown, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Badger said, I have a small circle of friends in real life. I don't make new ones easily.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much the case with me. I have some friends in Minnesota, and most of them were like when I got involved in hobby groups. So at least we had a topic that we could always relate on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definite point there, Kate. She says, I find makeup creepy. I can't stop feeling it. And I'm scared to, say, scratch an itch because I think I'll smudge something. And
yep.
Yeah, that's a problem. And this is one of the reasons I don't go for the heavy makeup that so many ladies I know do go for. There's just a little thing here and there. I wouldn't mind a little bit of the lipstick, do the eyes. I don't know how to do the eyes, and damn it, I wish I did. But
Yeah, I've had the same thing that, anytime I've had it on, I'm very aware of things on my skin, and it's a very conscious, deliberate effort not to scratch it off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm I'm not nearly as visually oriented as most people, so I actually depend a lot more on my hearing and tactile senses.
Okay,
So,
then.
having anything on my skin bothers me because the work I do, it's usually, paint or varnish or some kind of chemical residue stuff that I have to wash it off right away.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And like I can't even sleep with a fan blowing toward the bed because I will be aware of all the hair moving on my arm, and that will keep me from falling asleep.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. It's gotta be icky. Yeah, we have a couple things going on here. Nerdy Rodent said, I had a friend about a decade ago, but he moved to China. Nerdy, I suppose the only thing worse than that would have been your friend moving to Ohio, but that's another story entirely. And then Angie says, makeup is a necessary evil in my life. Um, I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting thing to talk about one of these days. Why do some consider it a necessary evil? I mean, I know those people who look really, 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 really fantastic without the makeup, and I think you know who I'm talking about, don't you? And I'm thinking that it would be the better thing. Yeah, makeup helps a little bit here and there, but if you use it to the extent that I've seen some girls use it, it only detracts. Okay, where did you just tell me to go, Kate? And what did you tell me to do once I got there? I'm going to look that up, don't you? uh, okay, let's. No, 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 no. There, that's better.
Okay, what language is that?
I'm guessing it's Japanese. At least that's the way Google Translate detected it. And okay, okay. She said good morning in a way that sounded like she was telling me to fuck off.
No, that would have been German.
Yes, there you go.
German, they sound like they're cursing at you no matter what they say.
Oh man, I love the one that Johnny Carson said years and years and years and years ago. German is the only language in which "I love you" sounds like a threat.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, Kate, you are into the learning Japanese full bore then? Well, we'll find out about that later. Um,
No, I can't do Japanese at all. The
okay.
extent of my foreign language skill is being able to say I don't understand you in 7 different languages.
There you go.
But yeah, I'd be completely lost in Asia. I don't have any Asian languages.
Yeah, the German fuck off equals show me your papers. No, that's coming to be in American English. Yeah, show me your papers.
There we go. Sloth Girl's got the German for I love you.
Yeah,
Ditch.
ich liebe dich. I don't
I'm
know.
probably
Should I?
pronouncing it very
Should
badly,
I
but
say again?
I'm probably pronouncing that very badly, but
Well, German is pronounced more or less as it is spelled. You just have to know that you're dealing with a vowel set that is definitely not American.
yeah. Frankenwagon?
Say again.
A bad-tempered badger. Krankenwagen.
Yeah, Krankenwagen. That is an ambulance.
Oh, okay.
And Bionic Dance screamed back at bad-tempered badger, Schmetterling! Which is butterfly. And the one thing I really like about German, or the best thing I like about German, let me put it to you that way, you don't have a word, you need one. Throw a bunch of other words together and make a word. In the let's see, around the era around the wars, when you started getting the electronic stuff going, you had this little device that could broadcast images, across space. And what would the Germans call it? Well, it was a device, okay, ein Apparat, that would allow you to sehen, from a distance, die Ferne. So, of course, you have ein Fernsehapparat, which is a television. Of course, these days, Germans just say das TV, but that's only because they've been Americanized so horribly. Oh, don't they ever, Sloth Girl. This is the amazing thing. To call someone a pig dog. You would think that would just be humorous, just fall over laughing. No, 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 no. Germans do not like it when you call them Schweinhund.
I think there's a valid question for you. Why do you know German?
Why do I know? Who, me? Oh.
Yeah, Great Dane's asking you.
Okay, it was strongly suggested when I was in high school that if you wanted to go on to uni, you took a language. So, high school, I took 4 years of German. The reason I did that was I decided incorrectly that a lot of the engineering papers that I was going to be looking at into the future, which never happened, might be written in German. So it might be a good idea to read the original papers in the original language. So 4 years of German in high school, 2 more years at uni. The reason I kept up with it, I love the language. I find German to be a beautiful language. I really do. It's a strongly inflected language. It's very much like Latin in that sense. Just from a couple of words, you've got the entire sentence, because you have verbs declined for person, tense. I'm sorry, not conjugated for person and tense. Nouns are declined for case. In English, were you to write the sentence, the boy threw the ball, cut the words apart, throw them into a bag, pull them out of the bag, and arrange them in random order, they'd very likely make no sense. Like the ball threw the boy? What the hell? Auf Deutsch, der Junge warf den Ball. Within der Junge is indicated that we're talking about the boy in nominative case. The boy is the subject of the sentence. Den Ball. That's accusative case. That's the direct object. In nominative that would be der Ball. So yeah, you cut that German sentence apart, throw it into a bag, pull it out. Den Ball warf der Junge. It's still the boy threw the ball, even though the words are ordered differently. It's a beautiful thing about that, and I wish I had somebody to talk to. I really do. Last time I was able to speak German with any degree of regularity was when I was working at a software house years and years ago. We're talking late 70s, early 80s. We had two people per cubicle, desks back to back. The guy on the other side of the cubicle grew up speaking German at home. His name was Helmut Neubecker. Okay, so you knew he was Japanese. We would go bantering back and forth, and the vice president of the company would come by. Speak English, you two! I want to know if you're plotting against me. It was so much fun. But nope, not anymore. And it's unfortunate. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, about the only part of German I got to know was trying to learn to pronounce the names of the warships.
Okay.
And some of them are fairly straight up, like Bismarck and Tirpitz you can get just from the spelling.
Yeah.
Graf Spee you need a little better inflection for. But then you get into some of them that the letters don't make sense in English, like Gneisenau. And Schleswig-Holstein.
Oh, where there's the Estzet included? The one that kind of looks like a Greek beta?
Yeah, well, there's a G that is not pronounced as either a G or a J.
I'm trying to remember which one that is.
Yeah, like I said, I think the pronunciation for it was something like how. Yes, yeah, I can't even. I can't get the tongue position right to even make the sound.
Where you kind of swallow the G. I kind of get you. As the same as more or less Gnadenhutten. There's that G there, but you barely hear it. Well, I don't know. The Greeks, they preferred things that worked well over things that sold well. So that's why they did the beta rather than VHS.
Well, if it worked so well, why did they only release the beta?
Indeed he do. Indeed he does. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm going to wonder, is anybody around here up for a little bit of what's the word for it? An after show? Need I ask? It's the one thing I didn't do, though, is I did not make up a thumbnail for the after show. Hit me, would you? That was not the thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, my arm's about 800 miles too short for that.
Okay, then. Oh, wait a minute. Capitalize that P.
Yeah, Sloth Girl's right. You need lots of phlegm.
Okay, and then... Okay, let's do it that way, because it's only going to do what it's going to do, and I don't care about the times. And public, custom. And we are going to create.
But doorknob head, I don't smoke.
Yeah.
The after show is when we all lay on our backs and smoke, but I don't smoke.
That's the amazing thing that I really, in a way, I hated it, in a way, I kind of liked it. Um, there we go. I was talking to one of the people in the other building a little earlier, a couple days ago or something like that, and the whole. She happened to mention, I feel like smoking some marijuana. You want to join me? And I had to think for about a half a second because I'm thinking, okay, it might not be all that bad an idea, but I finally said, look, I've got to beg off, and it's not because I have anything against it. It's because I haven't smoked anything in over a year, and I'm afraid that I'll either cough my lungs out, or get those cravings back and want to go back to smoking tobacco, and in a way, it was kind of too bad. In a way, it was kind of nice to be able to say, hey, I don't smoke anymore.
Yeah. I wanted to try the edibles, see if that would have any, greater effect on me than the smoking it did.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to try magic brownies, but I've never had the chance to.
Oh, my. Yeah, those can be interesting, especially if you rather like the flavor and you just keep eating them.
Well, that's what I was figuring, chocolate's good.
And then the thing is that the brownies take a while to hit you, so it can be easy enough for you to eat a shit ton of brownies and then wham. You're, "Blah!"
I had an experience like that once, or similar to that at a party once, that this rather cute woman was, kept feeding me the little Jello wigglers. And at the time, I was not aware of what Jello shots were. I didn't realize they were made with vodka. And she gave me about 5 or 6 of them before they started to take effect.
Oh boy. I see what I did. I see what I did. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, I wonder what she had in mind, right?
Okay, well, Kate's saying edibles have way less effect. And I've heard other people say that they could have a stronger effect, so.
Yeah, I've heard the people say that they might have about the same effect,
Yeah.
but because of the delay, you might be tempted to do more than you should, if you want to put it that way.
Well, and Orla's saying that they're effective painkillers, and that was being explained to me rather recently.
Mm-hmm.
That there's actually like 2 different strains. That the THC is what gets you high, but the CBT is what's the effective painkiller.
Yeah, that's something I've heard
And
recently.
different strains of marijuana have more of one or more of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So that, the edibles probably, if they're formulated for painkillers, may not have any THC in them.
Yeah, because I've found marijuana to be a very, very effective analgesic for my back pain. I have a bad back, and when it goes bad, oh, does it ever go bad? And there was the time I discovered how good marijuana was at relieving the pain. A friend and I visited another friend who happened to be a dealer. You couldn't go over to Jenny's house without her getting you high as a kite. It wasn't allowed that you leave her house non-high, let's say. And so we're sitting around, we're smoking and everything. I'm on a cane when I go in because the back is giving me so much of a problem. When it comes time to get home, we start for the door, and I hear Jenny over my shoulder, "Hey, Ed, you forgot your cane." And I'm looking. It's like, holy shit, I did. It's not hurting.
And And Sloth Girl's correcting me. I was saying CBD. It's CBT. It's CBD. Though I still don't remember what it stands for. But
Well, we can find out. Yes, we can. CBD. Oh, okay. Cannabidiol. It is the name of one of the thingy-doos in the stuff. Interesting structure.
okay, and who brought anal into this?
I have no idea. I wasn't
marijuana
looking.
suppositories?
I wasn't looking, and I don't know. Somebody needs a spanking. Kate, get on that.
I've heard of people doing coffee enemas because apparently the caffeine gets absorbed more rapidly that way.
No, I prefer drinking my coffee. Sorry. Oh my, but yeah, we got the we got the top of the hour coming here. You feel like going on over for a little bit anyway to
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what
Yeah,
I'll do at this point is ask you what you are up to in the upcoming future. A couple of things I know about. Are there any other things you got going?
Well, I've just run my regular weekly chats that I do midnight Mid America every Thursday at midnight, and I do the midday Mid America every Tuesday at noon. And basically, that's for the convenience of people on every continent except North America.
Yeah, okay. Yay.
The Tuesday at noon is for when the Brits are getting home from work and making dinner. And the Thursday at midnight is because that's mid-afternoon for the Australians.
There you are. God, the interesting thing around here is when you get into this, I'll call it a community if you want to, the whole YouTube atheist, etc. thing. Two things you have to learn are geography and time zones. Because, yeah, you'll find yourself talking to someone on the other side of the disc. When Natja and I used to talk more than we have lately, it would be he was just going to bed and I was just getting up. Or I was just going to bed and he was just getting up. Well, he's 15 hours ahead of me, or 14 hours.
Yep. Well, and that's, back before I met my fiance, that was a common thing that I was, chatting through the night, and I always kept odd hours, so that I was kind of cycling through, that I'd be starting out talking with the Australians, and then the Brits would be getting up for having their breakfast before I was going to bed.
Yeah, absolute. And it's like, whoa. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is bring this up. And I want to thank you, Purple, for showing up here and subjecting yourself to the coffee with Lavender. And I want to thank...
Oh, no problem.
I want to thank everybody who's watched and, tuned in. I want to
Always interesting chatting with you.
Oh, I don't know. Your life must be boring.
You have no idea, but that's besides the point.
And I want to thank all of you who are here and all of you who are not here. And I will say then, thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, and I see the link in the side chat for your after show there.
Sure do.
So.